From the Ministry of the Presidency in Georgetown, this is This Week with the President, with Janelle Carter.
Welcome to another edition of This Week with the President, a weekly news magazine which provides you with an in-depth look at the policies, programs, and work of the President of Guyana in his quest to realize the good life for all Guyanese. I'm your host, Janelle Carter. In the news this week, government development agenda outlined by President Granger as he addresses 11th Parliament for the third time. President confident crime-fighting strategies are beginning to work, and government commits to providing secure environment for investors. President David Granger, having declared 2016 the year of Renaissance, has laid out his vision for the rebirth and the renewal of the promise of economic independence and national unity. Even as Guyana observes its 50th independence anniversary, President Granger said, celebrations must extend beyond the usual pomp and ceremony, and Guyanese must recommit to the task of nation building in order to realize the social and economic rebirth that he envisages for the country. During his address to the National Assembly on January 14, the head of state pointed out that in order to realize the good life, the legislative and executive branches of the government must work together to build a resilient economy.
Our task today, Mr. Speaker, is to complete our mission by securing within the next decade a good life for all Guyanese. The necessity of economic transformation cannot be denied or delayed. We must act resolutely to implement the reforms that are essential to building a resilient economy, one that is adaptive to the changes, one that is responsive to the challenges of the global economy.
For too long, Guyana's economy has been heavily dependent on the traditional sectors: rice, bauxite, timber, sugar, diamond, and gold. As a result, the country has been at the mercy of the global economy, a situation that must be changed.
We have recruited a resourceful team of 14 line ministers from our six-party coalition for the purpose mainly of promoting economic growth. Our Ministry of Business will improve the ease of doing business, will attract increased foreign and local investment, will support the development and export of value-added industries and products, support industrial development through the establishment of industrial estates, encourage small and micro enterprises and revitalize our village economies. It will continue to support the traditional sectors of the economy and create a favorable environment for investors. We will pursue economic diversification, augment value-added industries, and introduce new developmental portals.
The President called for a deepening of national unity and strengthened national identity. As the country looks to the future, over the next 11 months, the administration will embark on a robust program to develop all the sectors and to offer citizens improved public services, which are an indispensable part of government.
We will continue to re-engineer government to ensure that our public services are accessible by all citizens in all parts of our country. Public services must be people-friendly. Public servants must be educated. Public servants must be unbribable. We shall continue to reform the public service to enhance its efficiency and to assure its integrity.
The President also called on parliamentarians as elected leaders of the people to move away from the political culture of division to one of inclusivity and tolerance in order to regain the public's trust and to move the country forward.
Let us come together to ensure that 2016 will be Guyana's glorious year of national renaissance. Let us come together to grasp the opportunities that this year provides for us to recapture the spirit of independence and to secure a good life for generations to come.
Raising Guyana's international profile has always been high on the agenda for the new administration. Emphasis has been placed on marketing Guyana as more than a rice, rum and sugar investment destination, but one of diversification and a market ripe for innovative economic expansion. During the past week, President Granger met with several diplomats who are all eager to strengthen bilateral ties with Guyana and are eager to explore investment opportunities in key areas such as renewable energy and agriculture. In addition, there is a push to support Guyana in projects that can minimize the effects of climate change. Speaking a few months ago, Foreign Affairs Minister Granger said that the administration will ensure that Guyana establishes itself as a responsible international actor through the level of quality of diplomatic services it offers. As Guyana continues to grow its international profile, government with whom Guyana shares bilateral ties are beginning to take notice. Recently, Australia's High Commissioner to Guyana and the CARICOM Mr. Ross Tyso described Guyana as a place with great potential for investment. During a meeting with President Granger, the ambassador's discussions were all centered on potential areas of investment and how the two countries can work together to minimize the effects of global warming.
The Commonwealth is a great uniting force with us, and we see, I think both parties feel there's great hope with the new Secretary General coming or being of Caribbean descent, and the Commonwealth has a real role to play. In terms of investment, obviously we believe there are real opportunities in Guyana for Australian investors, particularly in minerals. And possibly in agriculture in years to come. So we'll keep the relationship bubbling along, if you like. But bearing in mind it is a significant, we're at opposite ends of the world almost, but with some great historical and cultural ties.
With that in mind, the ambassador said there is an opportunity for bilateral relations between the two countries to be strengthened. In addition, with Guyana's vast potential in the area of renewable energy, there is the likelihood of collaboration with United Arab Emirates.
There are several opportunities that exist primarily in the renewable energy sector, which we found very interesting, in development in general, but then also on economic and trade fronts that we found quite exciting.
Ms. Hashimi met with President Granger and Guyana's Foreign Affairs Minister Granger during the past week. Meanwhile, even as new ambassadors are accredited, the most recent being Kuwait Ambassador to Guyana, His Excellency Ayada Al-Saidi, President Granger said his administration is ready to forge ahead with bilateral and multilateral relations that are mutually beneficial.
We are confident that during your tenure, we will be able to find practical ways of fully implementing these agreements. We have worked closely at the multilateral level on matters of mutual interest, including those relating to the preservation of sovereignty and territorial integrity. We also share similar positions on several issues on the global agenda, including political and economic security, climate change, and poverty reduction.
Over the past 7 months, the administration has worked to raise Guyana's international profile as well as place the Venezuela border threat high on the international agenda. In this vein, bilateral meetings have been held with the leaders of several countries, while the President and his delegation attended the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in Malta, the CARICOM Heads of Government meeting in Barbados, and the United Nations 2015 General Assembly in New York. In addition, the government continues to work to create a more favorable business environment. While we can all agree that there is still work to be done to arrest the crime situation that has enveloped the country over the past decade, President Granger is confident that the security forces are beginning to turn the tide. While the president remains dissatisfied with the rate of crime, he believes that the Guyana Police Force should be commended for more regularly apprehending perpetrators. President Granger pointed out that the growing crime situation was inherited and dates back to the early 2000s.
Mr. Ramjatan and I are singing from the same song sheet, and we are attempting to get the British to re-engage in the security sector. And he's quite firm, he's quite clear, and he's instituted some measures, for example, the amnesty for firearms. And we now meet every single week. I meet him to discuss within an organization called the National Security Committee, to discuss our thrust against narcotics, our thrust against illegal importation of guns, crimes, road accidents, and he reports every single week to Cabinet. So we have our fingers on the pulse of crime. And what you'd notice is that under this Minister of Public Security, although crimes are being committed, they are being solved much more quickly. People are being arrested, and we see a much more efficient criminal investigation department.
While efforts are being made to seek assistance from the British government, the administration has also signalled its commitment to strengthening the institutional capacity of the Guyana Police Force. In addition to the work being done by the police, support is being given by the Guyana Defence Force under Operation Dragnet, which was launched with the aim of tackling external and internal security threats. However, the police force has been putting significant effort into arresting the crime situation.
Capacity building in the intelligence units and crime intelligence and CID has contributed significantly, but it also has to do with collaboration among the police divisions and CID headquarters. You would have noticed that a lot of these high-profile crimes being solved since the appointment of the new crime chief. And so putting the right people in the right places also contributed. It's how we task our human resources and how we find the persons with the right attitude, right motivation, adequate experience, and so on to put into the various positions.
Efforts are also being undertaken by the administration to deal with narcotics trafficking, with the merging and upgrading of resources from the Guyana Police Force's Anti-Narcotics Unit as well as the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit, CANU. In addition, only recently, High Commissioner of Canada to Guyana, Pierre Croy, handed over equipment including crime scenes kit, 6 Canon cameras, an ocean system hardware and software system to the Guyana Police Force. Even as the government continues to support capacity building within the Guyana Police Force and the Guyana Defence Force, it has allowed both security bodies to function as prescribed by Guyana's constitution. The administration says the comments made by opposition member Anil Nandlal in a recent article headlined "Nandlal Slams President's Unlawful Interference" is a deliberate attempt to misconstrue what was said by President David Granger with regard to the deadly Carifesta Avenue collision and ultimately to mislead the public. President Granger has also made it clear that as president he is not involved in the operational use of the Guyana Police Force and the Guyana Defence Force, as these functions rest on the shoulders of their respective heads, clearly outlined by the Police Act and the Defence Act. And as such, the administration will continue to be guided by the Constitution. Here's more in that story.
Well, the Chief of Staff has examined the information. I don't think it requires a full probe, because Sergeant Pyle was on an official mission at the time, and it was quite an unfortunate accident in which 3 persons died. So we certainly regret the loss of life, but I don't see that there is need for a probe at the present time. But if, after discussion with the Chief of Staff, he feels such a probe is justified, once the soldier dies, he will conduct an internal probe, and I believe that is adequate. I don't know if that has been done. If it has not been done, I would certainly ask that that be done.
President Granger has said that following the internal investigation, if there is need for a wider inquiry, he would be so advised by the Chief of Staff of the Guyana Defence Force. In addition, the police force also have investigating responsibilities. Further, the President noted that while he sees no need for a wider probe at this point, he did not rule out, nor did he advise or instruct either the Guyana Police Force or the Guyana Defence Force how they should proceed with their investigations.
No politician gets involved in giving directives, operational directives, to the Chief of Staff or the Commissioner.
The administration says it also finds the publishing of Nandlal's comment by the Sabric News as unfortunate, as the President's quoted comments never amounted to the content of his accusations, particularly since no effort was made to seek a response from the head of state by the newspaper, thereby leaving no room for the President to respond. President Granger says there has always been a pattern of joint services collaboration between the Guyana Police Force and the Guyana Defence Force whenever the need arises. These collaborations, he said, dates back to more than 60 years, and the establishment of the Joint Operational Center, JOC, is evidence of this type of collaboration. And now it is time to take a look inside the President's diary. On Wednesday, President David Granger accepted letters of credence from Kuwait's non-resident ambassador to Guyana, His Excellency Ayada Al-Saidi. The newly appointed ambassador presented his letters of credence during a simple accreditation ceremony at the Ministry of the Presidency, where he committed to work towards the strengthening of existing relations between the two countries. Later on that day, President Granger met with officials from Spanish oil and gas exploration company Repsol. That meeting was attended by Minister of Natural Resources, Mr. Rafael Trotman, and included Repsol's country manager, Giancarlo Ariza, Repsol's Latin America Exploration Director, Mr. Mikel Eguera, and Exploration Manager of the Atlantic Basin, Mr. Alan Kian. The company began offshore drilling in Guyana in 2011. The President also met with members of the Board of Directors of the Hand in Hand group of companies who presented him with a book on the history of cricket in Guyana. The book was researched and written by Guyanese historian Professor Clem Cicheran. Apart from all the titles he wears, President David Granger is also like any ordinary man who in his spare time enjoys doing, well, extraordinary things. Coin collecting is a hobby that is enjoyed by many, but the President, true to form, has over the years amassed an impressive collection. Stay with us as we explore this 50-year-old hobby. Maybe we will find out what that collection is worth. At the tender age of 15, while many youths his age pride themselves on collection hobbies, President Granger chose coin collection, something he has been doing ever since.
And I just chose coins. And of course the coins have value because most of the coins I collected were actually silver, real silver, until maybe the Second World War, and then they started to use nickel and some cheaper metals. But before that, the coins were made of either gold or silver. So many families in Guyana would keep the gold sovereigns and use them as pendants on the necklaces. And once you got a gold sovereign, you didn't spend it.
With British and Dutch rare coins as old as 200 years and commemorative coins that spans Guyana's history, no doubt this little hobby has resulted in a veritable treasure trove. While his vast collection of coins hold significant financial value, to President Granger they hold more sentimental values. And it is for this reason he has no intention of selling any pieces from his collection, making him an enthusiastic numismatist, among other things. Still, was Press Services Officer Lloyd Garrett able to find out the value of that collection?
So, how much would a coin like this be worth today?
Well, if you go on eBay, I can't say, I wouldn't sell my coins, but the value of a coin depends on the quality. For example, this is high quality.
I guess not this time, Lloyd. And that's all for this week's edition. Thank you for joining us this week. For regular updates on the Ministry of the Presidency, visit our website www.motp.gov.gy. Like our Facebook page, Ministry of the Presidency, and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at MOTP Guyana. I'm Janelle Carter. Do have a safe and productive week ahead. Goodbye.